Hey everybody, Jay Cron here, CEO of Empower Network, coming to you with another Empower Network Rising Star. Today, we're going to be joined by and hear the story of Michael Martin and the results that he's generating here at Empower Network. And as always, I'm also joined by my lovely assistant, Ms. Tara Mengen, who's going to be handling our recording today. Hello, Tara. And Michael, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hi everybody, Michael Martin checking in here from Atlanta, Georgia.
Michael, you know, I love the fact that you are from Atlanta, Georgia, and every time I talk to somebody from Atlanta, I am reminded of the love that I carry for Waffle House, because in California, there are no Waffle Houses to be had anywhere, and anyone that ever tells me, well, why don't you just go to Denny's, I want to slap them, because it's clear that they don't understand the difference. So, loved Atlanta, spent 6 months out there, and today, Michael, we're going to be digging into your story and just learning a little bit more about you and some of the techniques and strategies that you've been able to leverage, which has kept you on our leaderboard for new member signups at the 6-month level. So not only have you achieved success and notoriety, but you've been able to do it over a long period of time, which, as everybody knows, is a lot harder to do. So before we move any further, Michael, give us an idea of your background. Where were you before you came to Empower Network, and how did you find out about Empower?
That's awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It definitely is a blessing just to be on this hangout. But like I said, we're in Atlanta, Georgia, and we started our journey in business in general, was traditional business back in probably about 2005, 2006. We took over a family restaurant, my wife and I did, and we did really well. We did well in that business, and then 2008 hit, and we're just on the suburbs, kind of northwest of Atlanta, so we weren't really in the city. We were like around a lot of contractors, people building houses. So when that bubble burst, man, it killed our business. So we sold it for a major loss back in 2008, and then that pushed us into looking for something else. I had no college degree. I was a music major, so like, you know, I love music, but that's not going to pay the bills. So I dove into this world of network marketing, this home business thing, and it blew me away. You know, I saw the 3 who get 3 who get 3, and it was just like, this makes sense. Little did I know how much some of the other things didn't make sense that I had to do to get those 3 who get 3 who get 3.
Isn't it amazing how elegant the business looks when it's just circles and sticks on a whiteboard or a PowerPoint presentation? You know, it's not until they say, all right, now make a list of your friends and family to fill in all of those circles so we can really get to work here. So I definitely understand exactly what you're saying. Were you in the industry and then you just found out about Empower Network, or did you get an email, or like, how did you find Empower?
Well, I was pretty much, I'd spent like, you know, 3 or 4 years trying to find more friends and family and just couldn't do it. So, I was like, man, I'm Mexican, so I'm like, man, maybe I got some more family over here. Let me go start doing it. But anyway, so we actually, I was on Facebook. I had friended a bunch of people trying to connect with, you know, like-minded people, sharp people. And this guy named Alex Zubarev, you know, he keeps popping up in my news feed, and he's holding up these big checks, and I'm like, this dude's doing something. I've got to check it out. So I decided to look into it, but I wasn't looking at it as an income opportunity. I was actually looking at it to build my list. I needed to build my network marketing business. And I knew there was power in the internet. I needed to get outside of my friends and family and find those billions of people and how to tap into them. So man, I just clicked play, and there was this guy, this David Wood guy, you know. On
yeah, of course. Tank top, long hair.
Yeah, just saying get money. And so it was an awesome moment, because in that moment, my wife and I were in the middle of a bankruptcy, a foreclosure. We were losing everything, and it was one of those things where this had to work. She didn't know I even got started with Empower, but as I was diving into things like the Inner Circle audios and I made a few sales just out of nowhere, like within just being in for just a couple of weeks, and I was just like, wait, how did I do that? I made those sales just like, you know, I'm posting up some blogs, I'm doing exactly what they tell me to do, and people are seeing this and they're joining me. I couldn't do this even picking up the phone call and making, you know, 50 calls a day. The bell just went off, you know, or the light bulb, the bell, whatever, hear, see it, whatever, just went off. And from there, I was hooked. So.
Well, you know, I I love the way you described it, because like so many people that I meet in Empower Network, you know, they're coming out of the NFL, you know, the no friends left, the no family left, you know, they're through 3 companies and they're no longer, you know, they've got no one to call, they've got no one to bring to a meeting. And, you know, it's amazing to hear the amount of success that people have gotten leveraging the systems that Empower has. And one of the other things that I love about Empower is I find that everyone has a favorite commission story. That it's either their first commission that they remember, or it's the commission that came in while they were on vacation, or it was that day or that weekend or that month that they hit an income goal. So if you were to look back at your favorite commission story, what would it be?
It would be my first, and it's kind of when I joined, it was like, what is All In? All It was kind of like Master's Course was just kind of getting thrown in the mix at that point. So when I got going, All In was 15K Costa Rica and down. So I was sleeping one night and woke up the next morning and I was like, what is this? I looked at my phone. I started sorting through. And I had these commission notifications. Like I had made 15, 16, it was like $1,625. I had somebody go All In at that point, All In while I was sleeping. It was a lady in England. It was my very first All In sale. And man, I sprung out of bed. Actually, I rolled over to my wife and I just said, it's happening. She goes, it's happening. I just jumped out of bed, you know, did a little dance. I mean, I was just like, it's happening. And,
well, there's no doubt about it. How could anyone misinterpret the husband rolling over to the wife just saying it's happening? I mean, I'm sure her first thought was, it must be commissions. That's what we're talking about. So I love that story.
What was going on, you know? She's like, what is he talking about? And it just said it's happening, and it was just amazing. I had a church group of guys. We have a journey group that morning. I went in, you know, put my card out, paid for a couple friends' breakfasts, you know, just on cloud 9. We were so broke. I shouldn't have been doing that, but I mean, as soon as I got it, I started to give it away. It was crazy, but.
Well, and that's another thing that we have here at Empower is a community that they're always looking for a way to pay it forward. And, you know, for everyone watching, obviously Michael's results are not typical because Michael's not typical. And if you'd like to see our average earnings disclaimer, it's at empowernetwork.com/income, and feel free to check it out there. But when you look at our community, paying it forward is such a big deal, and it's really something that's hard woven into our culture from the top down. You know, Dave Wood created Empower Network with a desire to pay it forward for everyone that he came in contact with, and it was born out of the frustration of being in a company that wasn't working and not knowing what to do next. So when you look at what Empower Network has allowed you to do, or what life looks like now versus then. You know, I know you shared that you were going through a bankruptcy, you were losing a business at the time, which, I mean, both of those things are just unbelievably stressful. When you look at what life looks like now, whether it's what Empower Network gives you to do on a personal level, you know, in the way that you now view life through a different lens, or on a financial level, what would you say if someone said, what does Empower Network mean to you, or what has it meant to you, what would it be?
For me, it's really transformed my life and my wife's life into giving back. I know just last year, I just felt a calling on my heart to go overseas. I felt like I needed to do something bigger than what we're just doing here. And so as soon as I got that feeling, they announced a trip to Burkina Faso, Africa, with our church. So I was able to just hop on it, make the decision right then, and go. And so we saved up the money. We went through all that. When I was in Burkina, I felt a calling to go to Bolivia. I said I need to go somewhere where I can use my Spanish because I speak Spanish. So I talked to my pastor. He said, you know what? I'm going to let you know about something we got going on in South America. A couple months later, he picks up the phone. He calls me and says, Michael, can you come with me in like a couple weeks to Bolivia? Let's do a fact-finding mission, just me and you. We're going to go scout out an area. I mean, literally, called my wife, said, hey, I'm going to Bolivia. She said, okay. Just random. And,
it's happening. I'm going to Bolivia.
I said, okay, I'm going to Bolivia. She said, okay. And it was just crazy, though, because where can you do that? You can't do that when you're tied down to a 9 to 5. You can't make all these different treks. So
no, it would have been you saying to your boss, hey, I've got this opportunity to go to Bolivia, and he'd be like, all right, great. Tuesday, 3 months from now, we can give you the time off and make sure you fill out the paperwork. And by the way, if something happens between now and then, we might need to tell you can't go.
Exactly, exactly. Well, and then shortly after that, we've since that was July of last year. We hit 5 figures a month, which was just insane and just totally just freed us up. That allowed me to retire my wife from corporate America, from her banking job that she hated, that she'd been doing for how long? 14 years, and we got her out of corporate America, and then turned around, and now I'm leading the trip to Bolivia that we scouted out, and she's actually going to get to come with us. So
wow.
I mean, and this is all because I just happened to look into some guy holding up a check, and I just needed to change.
All thanks to Alex Z, who I lovingly call KGB. He's one of my favorites. I love that guy. And
Yeah.
so Michael, if I asked you to summarize and distill down your success into either a word or a sentence or a single habit, what would it be?
Consistency. And I know that has been a big thing right now, but my team's name is Team Consistency. That's what we went after, because I wanted it always in their face that consistent daily action is everything.
Excellent. Love that word, and believe it or not, you are in very good company. It seems that consistency is key to a lot of elements of success in our business. So, Michael, we're nearing the end of our time here, and my favorite way to close the Rising Star interview that I get to do with our affiliates that are, movers and shakers in our world is, you're obviously going to have this video interview that's going to be out there, and a couple thousand people likely will see it, maybe even tens of thousands of people, who knows, over the time that this video is up and you're Rising Star and people are checking it out. They're going to be in varying stages in their business. They may be not getting started yet and are looking at us for the first time. They may have just gotten started and are wondering about how to achieve the success you've achieved, or they may be at varying stages of experiencing success in their business, continuing to sharpen and hone their skills and continuing to study and stay plugged in. If you knew that you had that audience and you wanted to leave them with a thought or an idea, a strategy, a recommendation, what would it be?
Two things, really. The biggest thing for me, and it doesn't matter what level you're at in your business, whether you're just getting started or you're making 6 figures a year, it doesn't matter. The biggest thing for that is just plug into what Empower teaches. The 8 core commitments, or the fast start training that we call it now. There's all that is every little piece of the puzzle you need to make your business run. All the products are there. Everything you need is in the products. But none of it works until you put the pieces of the puzzle together, which is the fast start training, the blog daily, market daily, audio daily, read daily, get to the events, all that stuff. The other piece of that I can give is, when it comes to blog daily and market daily, when you're marketing daily, when you pick a strategy, stick to it. Dive into it. Don't jump around. I think the biggest downfall for most people in their business is they go into a marketing strategy, and then they do it for 5 days, and they go, this doesn't work, and they jump to the next, and they jump to the next. They do the same thing with blogging as well. But if you can just push through, commit to a strategy 60, 90 days at a time until you get it generating leads. Leads will lead to sales, and sales will lead to upsells. So
Yep.
That's where the money's at. But that's the biggest key advice I can give to anybody.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, you brought up consistency, and now you've brought up consistency and singularity of focus. And when I look at people that approach any level of their life, in the goal being mastery, not a grasp, not an understanding, but mastery of a skill, the people that have chosen mastery, even in only one area, are often heads and shoulders above someone that's chosen to be just good in a lot of areas. And you'll meet lots of people that understand every aspect of online marketing at a shallow level. Right. And guess what? The results aren't there. They're maybe interesting at cocktail parties, but the results aren't there. But then you can meet individuals that are ridiculously deep on one skill set. Dave Wood being a great example. Dave Wood talks about that. He's like, I blog. I tell stories on my blog and just interest people. And he's like, I don't know what my conversions are. I've never measured them. I've never even tried to. I don't even use anything other than my blog. But he's 3 inches wide, 3 miles deep on that one thing. And that mastery has led to what he's been able to create. And I know that that's how you're driving results in your business as well. So, Michael, thank you so much for just taking a little bit of time out of your day to let everybody hear about your story and how you've arrived here, what life was like before Empower. And, we're really excited to hear. I mean, how cool to see that Bolivia process come full circle, that, it was like, okay, I want to do something bigger. I now have the ability to, so I'm going to go to Bolivia. And now here you are coming back around, leading the trip to Bolivia that you helped go on a fact-finding mission for. I can't think of a cooler story to talk about in what this business offers and what makes it possible. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being the best part of Empower Network, and thank you for being one of our rising stars.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. And see you in Vegas. Or no, Nashville.
I know. All of the cities, all of the events, it gets crazy to keep track of. And Michael, I did hear your wife in the background, so please thank Mrs. Martin for us as well for everything she represents and supporting you and encouraging you and driving you forward in your business. I know that normally behind every man is normally a far greater and often frustrated woman. So I know that you probably have an unbelievable wife that supports you in what you're doing. So we appreciate her as well, and thanks for being the best part of Empower Network. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. See you guys.
All right, everybody. That's what we got today.
Folks, obviously the income examples discussed are extraordinary. The income claims presented are not intended to serve as a guarantee of income. Instead, they're designed to give you an idea of what's possible. Success in this business requires leadership, hard work, and dedication. Since we want to help you make an informed decision, we've gone above and beyond with our income disclosure document. If you want to see the average earnings, please visit the page at www.empowernetwork.com/income.php.